What's going on, YouTube? This video is about the legendary Philip Bailey, Earth, Wind, and Fires, with that distinctive falsetto. And he was asked a long time ago what his favorite artists or albums. And from time to time, I like to talk about artists and what did they like to listen to, because it's always interesting and entertaining. He always mentioned that Miles Davis and John Coltrane inspired him, their instrumentation for his vocals. Miles' Kind of Blue was one of his favorite albums. Marvin Gaye's What's Going On, Stevie Wonder's In the Vision, Joni Mitchell's Blue album, which he liked a lot, were coming to records that came to mind that he mentioned. I found it very interesting that he mentioned, some of those records that, along with All in All and I Am, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Um, Philip Bailey always had a distinctive falsetto and tone. I mean, to hear him and Maurice White, I'll tell it like this the best way I know how. Aside from, and someone could correct me if they want to, but I'm going to stick by my guns. Aside from Ruffin and Kendricks, I think Maurice White and Philip Bailey were the best 1-2 punch for doing vocals on records. I'm sorry. I thought that they did all the vocals on those old Earth, Wind, and Fire records and lead and background. And I thought, that harmony, that 1-2 punch, that was a dynamic duo. Dynamic. So, but listen to his, it's not surprising. Jazz would play a very relevant part. And he loved a lot of Motown. As he mentioned Stevie, he mentioned Marvin. And so it's not surprising. Records that he grew up on, artistry, And when you listen to the totality of his vocals and presentation, you could see that, you know. The harmony, the layering, He's one of those artists that can go versatile with a lot of different things, but you could definitely see that though. But anyway, I thought that was very telling that he was able to do that. And, I like that. I liked hearing him reflect on that. I always like to hear artists talk about things like that magnitude because it's always a sense that, taking your craft and you, as a fan, you always wonder what artists are like outside of their own box and then what they listen to in other artists and what moves them and motivates them in the harmony. Because sometimes I can pick up certain things just by listening to certain codas and quotes and vibes. So I thought that was pretty good and refreshing that you could definitely tell that, you know, the Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, the Coltrane, the Miles Davis, because he could definitely scat. And you appreciate it when you hear the long version of Reasons. The many times he did the freestyle with it, you definitely can appreciate it. So his appreciation for, a particular era in time, much respect. Always like when you hear that, you could definitely pick up on it. So I thought that was really cool that he went there. And he also mentioned that he liked other artists because he also mentioned Genesis and Phil Collins, and he did work with Phil Collins on Easy Lover, which was a big hit as a duo. So he had appreciation for a wide variety of music, which you could tell. He's like I said, a very distinctive vocalist. One of those cats that, he's definitely a student of music. So anyway, I thought I would share that the influences of Philip Bailey's favorite albums and some of his favorite artists. And if you're a big fan of Earth, Wind, and Fire, pay that respect. Get that man his flowers. He's one of the baddest to ever do it. My favorite band ever. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like, and hit that membership. Because when you do requests like this come true, stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out. Peace.